Guys, we're getting so close to our 100 subscriber goal now, so be sure to click the subscribe button and get us all the way there. Enjoy the video. Call of Duty has become a hive of microtransactions and exploitation. This has been coming for years, and a slow process of increasingly invasive microtransaction practices has led to the state of Call of Duty being unacceptable. And no, I'm not suggesting that none of us buy Call of Duty and boycott it entirely, as that isn't a practical solution, and even if it was, it would be discarding the work of many talented developers who work under often stressful environments to provide us with the base games. But something needs to be done here, as Call of Duty is becoming something that's increasingly offering less value for more money, and unless something is done, even less value will be offered. Let's start off by seeing why Call of Duty has gotten to where it is, and then move to possible solutions and alternative monetization options for the future. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and enjoy my pain at seeing one of my favourite franchises eat the dust. So, I'm going to break up this part of the video into 3 sections, each delivering part of the full picture as to why Call of Duty has reached this level of exploitation. We'll start off with a very brief history of Call of Duty's past means of monetization. Then we'll go on to what's happening with free-to-play games in that same time frame, and lastly shift over to the impact of Warzone. And I'm hoping that my whole point will make sense and it will all tie together like I think it will. Let me know if it made any sense in the comments below, and let's get cracking with looking at how Call of Duty has historically monetized their games. Call of Duty have always monetized their games, just never like this. The main ways they've monetized their games in the past have been an entry price, map packs, and cosmetics. 2 of those 3 methods of monetization are timeless. So what the hell happened to map packs? Let's go for that first. Map packs in older Call of Duty games were essentially purchasable bundles of DLC that usually contain a map or 2, occasionally some cosmetics, and sometimes an expansion of the campaign. They were very popular back in the Xbox 360 and PS3 days, as Call of Duty was so unanimously popular with so fewer competitors that there were few options out there to turn to for a better FPS experience. This meant that Activision essentially had free rein to monetize exactly as they pleased, and map packs didn't possess the risk they have today. What is that risk? Let me explain. So, in every Call of Duty game, there's a base map pool that is occasionally added to throughout the lifecycle, right? Well, map packs take that existing player base and fragment it into several sections as to who has what map pack. This leads to longer waiting times for all modes, a massive decrease in longevity, with the shrinking player base making each fragmentation worse and worse as players drop off, and monetizes what could very easily be a base game feature, being an extra map or 2. Essentially, Activision realised that map packs were a bad form of monetization a few years back, and that's partly how we got here. A better way of judging what happened to Call of Duty and destroyed their offering of value for money is to look at the free-to-play section, focusing, as always, on a Fortnite Battle Royale. Let's take a look, shall we? Something that we can definitively say that caused Call of Duty to change to become what it is today is the free-to-play model of game design. As I said, let's take a look at Fortnite, specifically as to how it updated its game and remained popular. The LTM, or Limited Time Mode system, was instrumental in ensuring that Fortnite remained popular, with popular modes such as Solid Gold and Team Rumble being immensely beneficial to the game's success. They all hinge on the concept of FOMO, or fear of missing out, as their main reason for success. If a mode remains in the game for only a limited time, that means that more players will log in to play the game and experience it as much as they can, for as long as they can, before that game mode disappears, assumingly forever. It's why Fortnite player counts skyrocketed when they released the last 2 Avengers-themed game modes after the last 2 Avengers films came out. Do you see where this is going? If you felt any of the frustration I have about Call of Duty recently, you'll know exactly where this fits in. Modes that should have been part of the game from day one have been added and removed several times over now. That doesn't quite tell the full tale of how Call of Duty got to this point though. For that, we have to focus on the second unfortunate conclusion of FOMO, and the ultimate free-to-play monetization model, the Battle Pass. To really see how this took effect, let's drop into Warzone. The introduction of the Battle Pass actually doesn't begin in Warzone. After the explosion of free-to-play Battle Royale games such as Fortnite, Activision decided to dramatically alter their usual release style with 2018's Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 ditched the usual campaign mode and instead released with what was essentially Call of Duty Battle Royale Beta, which is called Blackout. Blackout was, and still is, a much loved predecessor to what would later become Warzone, and it utilised several well-known locations from Call of Duty's history and the mechanics from Black Ops 4, bound it all together and made a slightly janky but otherwise great Battle Royale mode. Of course, no Battle Royale mode would be complete without a Battle Pass, never mind Black Ops 4 being a full-price title. So Activision released the first Battle Pass seen in Call of Duty in Black Ops 4, and that's where we get to Warzone. Warzone essentially took this idea and ran with it, because as a free-to-play game, Warzone warrants a Battle Pass far better than Black Ops 4 ever did. The issue is with Warzone's integration with the main series games, as those games sell for full price, and Warzone's validation of a Battle Pass means that features of the full-price main series games are locked behind a paywall, or a mountain of gameplay for those that don't wish to pay. It's a huge problem, and one that can't be solved easily, as you can't unbake a cake, and Warzone is deeply integrated as a game mode within the main franchise now. A better idea is to focus on how some of those issues caused by the current monetization model can be fixed, rather than revamping them altogether. Let's take a look at a few possible alternative options. For the solutions to the problems provided by the current model of Call of Duty, let's get a few things straight. Firstly, a Battle Pass system is a perfectly valid way of monetizing your game, especially if that game is to be a live service game. That point will be made more clear later on. Secondly, selling Call of Duty games at full price is also a non-mover, as they are games that offer a vast amount of content. Thirdly, Warzone's integration with Call of Duty causes problems, but it's definitely a non-mover here. The amount of money and attention it brings to Call of Duty makes it too profitable of an arrangement to change, so we'll be treating that as an unchangeable fact. So with that, I present to you my solutions. Number 1. We need to stop this LTM nonsense in Call of Duty. I don't mean all LTMs now, I mean using modes such as Infection, One in the Chamber, and Gunfights as LTMs. Those modes are franchise standouts, and putting them in an LTM rotation is an insult to long-time fans of the series. Number 2. No more locking new guns behind a paywall or a forced grind. Weapon challenges are there for a reason, and that reason is to unlock new weapons and camos, as they always have done. After battle passes expire, the guns in it become locked behind challenges instead. Why can't they be like this to begin with? Oh yeah, to make people inclined to buy the battle pass and speed up their progression. No more of that, thanks. Number 3. The yearly release schedule of Call of Duty is becoming incredibly old-fashioned and outdated. If COD is going to be a live service game, then it should be produced like a live service game. Those battle passes and bundles in the shop are far harder to swallow after enduring a yearly £70 commitment to buying every Call of Duty game. It's entirely possible to move development to last 2 years rather than 1, as this would allow for new games to be released as feature complete, and it would also allow the games to develop more and garner more of a player base over their 2-year life cycle. Oh, and stop making streamers and real life people into playable characters. You can never account for the person's character in the long term to make sure that a decision like this won't backfire. It's just not worth the drama. Those are my solutions to make Call of Duty a better game and solve its monetization issues. Let me know what you thought below. Do you agree? Or do you have a different solution? I'd love to hear them all, so check them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.